John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hello, my name is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert. I have almost 30 years of experience in the credit industry. I've spent time at FICO, which is the company behind the FICO credit scoring system, and Equifax, which is one of the 3 credit reporting agencies in the United States. So today I'm going to answer a question about divorce and credit cards. And specifically the question is John, I'm about to go through a divorce. What should I do with my credit card accounts? So, first off, sorry to hear about it, or congratulations, depending on kind of the scenario of leading to your divorce. This is a very, very important question. Let's just put it this way. It's a whole lot easier to divorce your spouse than it is to divorce your creditors. So you do want to take some steps to the extent you can prior to filing your divorce. And unfortunately, divorce attorneys are not knowledgeable enough about consumer credit reporting practices enough to advise their clients to do what I'm about to advise you to do. And by the way, I'm not charging you $500 an hour like they will. So number one, if you have joint obligations with your spouse, this is the scenario where you're going to need to do something. If you have individual obligations, meaning you have a credit card or you have an auto loan or you have a mortgage or your spouse has these things but only in their name, then this is less important because you're not connected to them through the liability for the particular account. So this is really just for joint liabilities. So joint credit card accounts where your name is on the account, their name is on the account, and you're both liable for the debt, not an authorized user scenario. So if you've got a joint credit card, it is probably not a bad idea to plan for that account to be closed. And what I'm saying is that you should probably apply for a credit card account in your name right now. Apply for the credit card account right now before the other accounts start being closed, because you know what happens when you start closing credit cards, your credit scores can go down. So open up 1 or 2 accounts in your name. These will be your accounts going forward. You're not going to have to depend on those other pre-existing credit card accounts. That's number 1. Get yourself an inventory of credit cards. Number 2, you're probably going to want to close those other cards. This is the only time you'll ever hear me give the advice to close credit card accounts. You'll never ever hear me give that advice in any other scenario because it can lead to lower credit scores. But in the scenario of a divorce where it gets ugly, you don't want to have a credit card account in your spouse's wallet that he or she can use in such a way that it's going to lead you to being in more debt. So you may run into a scenario where the divorce is getting contentious. You've got 2 spouses that hate each other now and are willing to do things that are just to punish the other spouse, and one of those can be to get them into debt. So you want to avoid that, and the way you can avoid it is by closing those accounts. And when you close them, it doesn't extinguish your liability for the debt, but what it does is prevent your spouse from running up any more debt on that particular card. And remember, you've already opened credit card accounts in your name alone, so if you use credit cards to buy things and pay for things, you're not going to skip a beat. You're just going to have to switch it over to a different credit card. Once you close those accounts, then obviously the debt is still going to exist, and when you go through your process of your divorce, in your divorce settlement, which that's where they all end up with a settlement, then y'all can agree who is going to be responsible to pay for this debt versus that debt. So one more thing that I need to make you aware of, even though your divorce decree and your divorce settlement may dictate that your spouse is responsible for debt or you're responsible for debt, if those are joint credit card accounts, then you're both still liable for the debt. It doesn't matter what your divorce decree dictates. Lenders do not adhere to the terms of your divorce settlement. They're not required to. They're not bound by that settlement. So really the only thing that divorce settlement indicates is that you guys have kind of a formal agreement that you're going to make payments on the debt, or your spouse is going to make payment on the debt, it doesn't mean that the lender has to live up to that obligation, because again, they weren't a party to it. That's why it's so important to start planning for what's going to happen with your credit in the scenario of a divorce before you get divorced. Because once you start going through the process of divorce, then you're probably not going to be dealing with a very cooperative soon-to-be ex-spouse, and you want to get all these things done beforehand, before the other side starts to kind of get wind of it and then start doing malicious things like running up credit card debt, missing payments, and things like that. So hopefully that helps. Again, sorry about the divorce, or congratulations. If you have any other questions, then drop them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to get to them. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.